Okay. What are you doing?
I'm trying to fix this microphone. It's not the way I want it to be.
Why is it not the way you want it to be?
It's too loose. There we go. I'm in a new position. And so I want to make sure the mic it keeps dangling off my little thing.
You got a little dangly mic?
I got a little dangly mic. I got to stay strong. I got to arouse it somehow. I got to say, hey, stay aroused.
I don't think that's the way that works. But okay.
How do I arouse a mic? Let me know down in the comments down below. What's your
disgusting.
situation over there?
My brain just went to like people named Mike, and I'm just like, oh, you're gonna get a lot of
Mike Falzone, tell us how you get aroused in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know, Mike Falzone.
Somebody send Mike Falzone here to the comments below so we can find out how
You
he
think
gets aroused.
He would rejudge our setup right now? You think?
He's gonna judge us no matter what.
Mike Falzone both loves us and hates us.
Yes, that's why we love him.
And yeah,
He pushes us to become better people.
I've never become a better person.
Oops.
Whoops.
Okay.
Welcome back to We Stayed Late. This is the podcast of SourceFed survivors trying to make it through the life in the world of Group 9. That's pretty much it, right?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So,
that still doesn't tell anybody new what this is.
Yeah. if
Those
you're
are
not-
all just gobbledygook for anybody that has no idea what any of those things are.
Have you
How
seen-
would you describe the show to someone who's brand new, who is not part of the old SourceFed fandom? And say those people wanted to share this podcast with new people.
Ooh, I'd say no.
Oh, I'd say, nah. What do you want to talk about now?
By the way, I'm Starline Hodge.
I'm Luis Gonzalez.
I'm Spenser Starke. Look at that. We went in reverse order this
I know.
time. It kind of threw us off for a second.
I got
but we're all right
a little,
now.
I got a little scared, but it's okay. I'm in a new position, so it's keeping me safe.
How would we
Not
describe
so
it? How would we
bad,
describe?
maybe
I think it's a podcast. Am I alone and
Yes.
just sitting normal? Okay, that's fine with me. It's a podcast about people in the digital media industry
There you go.
talking about their lives and their work.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
This episode is brought to you by FHP/.
FHP.com.
That's gonna be such a search. I think it's like FH. If I had to guess, it's like for
The point I'm trying to make is we got merch
We got merch in our For Human People
in
store.
our For Human Peoples.
Hold on, let me.
If you don't know what merchandise is, if you had to tell someone what merchandise was for the first time, what would you say?
It's shit that we branded that you can wear.
Up.
It's
What's happening?
forhumanpeoples.com/we-stay-late.
Did you get that? If you didn't get that, I don't blame you.
I need you to.
It's on the. Isn't it on the? Is it on our Twitter?
I don't know. I haven't. I haven't
Just
updated
go
the
back
Twitter.
10 seconds, 30 seconds. You know that little
Hit
button
that
you push?
15. Yeah, that 15 reverse.
Yeah.
They're gonna hit the 15 ahead to get to
Oops.
the actual conversation now.
All right, let's start the conversation. What are we even talking about today?
Okay, guys, I've been I've been waiting all week because I didn't want to say anything.
Look at you coming out with surprises all the time.
I've been watching Game of Thrones. I'm on season 2, episode 6.
Oh no! Are you serious?
Yes, and I've been dying to tell you, but I haven't told you because I wanted to. I just got hit with a pen.
Things that you have.
That's amazing.
I'm dying. Help me.
Oh my god!
It's so fucking good.
It is really good. Good. Now, well, you know what? You're gonna be.
Wait, hold on. Let me just enjoy the little moment of like.
It's so good.
How
I've been
dare-
binging
Wait,
it.
wait. Did you have any spoilers by the end of season 1?
What do you mean? I mean,
Did you
He
know?
knows what happens.
I know what. I mean, I didn't know. I knew nothing.
You knew nothing.
Zero. The only thing I know are
Hello.
Hello. We have somebody visiting.
Oh,
You wanna come in?
Elise works with us.
She's telling us to be quiet.
You have to be more quiet, guys.
Okay, fine. We
we
got
are-
really excited. Spencer's watching Game of Thrones.
It's the first time I've ever watched Game of Thrones.
What are your thoughts on this? She loved. Was it our initial scream that was too loud?
Yeah, it was the initial scream.
We're
Okay.
still, for the listeners at home, we're still gauging our volume level here.
Because the walls are supposed to be soundproof, but they're not.
Yeah.
She's out. Well, it's 6:22. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's
I'm
so
so
good.
glad you're watching it, but there's a part of me that's real mad because since you are so spoiler free to it, to neglect us the joy of seeing you be shocked or hearing you be shocked about things that are going on is a bummer.
Oh.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You recorded yourself.
No. That would be awesome. No, I binged the first. Okay, so this week, remember I was telling you I went from doing like lots of things.
Uh-huh.
So I binged.
That's what you were doing.
So I was like working on stuff too,
Uh-huh.
but then I have to go back and watch another episode.
yeah.
So
That's what
I
you're doing.
binged the entire first season this week.
I
This
would-
past
So
weekend.
now you love that song.
From
huh?
now on, this
Yeah.
is every episode you watch. I want like a text or a Slack message
Okay.
or something, commentary, reaction.
So the last one I watched.
I won't say anything.
Okay.
I just need the feedback because I can't relive the show
Right,
ever
right,
again,
right,
like
right.
in that way. So I'm like a leech and like need to absorb it from other people. So I need feedback.
If you haven't watched Game of Thrones and you don't want a spoiler, skip ahead 15
No,
seconds.
bullshit. It's been out forever. I'm so surprised you
Yes.
didn't have spoilers.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
Isn't that a great theme song?
It's a great thing. Here's the thing. I've been listening to music since it came out. Like I write to the music. It's
It's
cool
pretty amazing,
now.
yeah.
It's cool now because I hear a song and I'm like, oh, I've written to that song. Because I have the soundtrack.
Oh,
that I
you were
listen to.
listening to it before.
Yeah,
you
I was listening
watched
to it before I watched it.
Yeah,
So now
yeah,
I hear
yeah.
the song and I'm like,
What-
oh wow, that.
What's
song.
your favorite house so far?
I mean, I'm biased.
I mean, yeah.
It's Stark.
Okay, good. But
Yeah.
still, like, you get some basic houses in the beginning.
Yeah.
You got your Lannisters.
You got your
have your
Greyjoys.
Starks, you got your Greyjoys.
Man,
you got your Baratheons.
I did not like what's his name? I feel so embarrassed. I don't remember his name. Help
Theon?
me. Help me. Lannister.
Tyrion?
No.
Jamie?
Jamie. I did not like Jamie when I first
No,
met him.
fuck Jamie. Jamie's a fucking asshole.
Oh my God, you
is
sweet
so
summer
great.
child. This is the best.
This is the best.
Oh,
I
it's
hated
so good.
Jamie.
It's so
I
good.
hate Jamie.
Hey, Jamie's the worst, right? At the beginning.
At the beginning, he's the worst. When skip it. Okay, now for real. If you don't want spoilers, skip ahead 15 seconds. When Ned died. When Ned.
Yeah.
Neddard died. Neddard.
Yes. His name is Eddard, but he's called Ned.
Got it. Okay, I was so confused about why. Anyway, when he died, I was so sad.
It was very
It killed
sad.
me.
And that reveal, like it doesn't. You don't
Joffrey
even
reveal,
show it
yeah.
all the way either. How it's like. And
So
then
you
it
had
cuts.
no idea that was coming.
No.
Oh my God, you're so fresh.
I had no clue.
You're so fresh. Even when I went into it, I knew
And-
that was
No.
happening.
And he was I think I knew that too. He was the title character. Like he's
Yeah.
the first build.
He's the main
person.
character.
you should have suspected when it was Sean Bean.
Well, I was like, he is perfect for this part. I mean, like, he was so perfect for that part, and then he died, and I was like, well, fuck me.
But you know what? Like watching this new season, and the Starks always talk about their dad because he's
Yeah.
kind of like that shining light example of
Right.
who they need to be. And every time they talk about him, it's just like,
Your heart
Yeah.
goes out. You're like, fuck yeah,
like,
it's
yeah,
Ned,
I do
man.
miss him.
And
I
then-
miss him.
And then it's funny
Everyone
because
misses
yeah,
him. Like we
every-
all and the way
I
he
already
pl-
miss him.
The
It
way
hasn't
he
been that
pl-
long.
The way he plays it, it's just so like
his performance lives through, like, even just, I mean, I know it hasn't been a long time for
Yeah.
me, but like his performance lives through the other episodes, even though he's not
So wait,
there.
where are you in season 2?
Episode 6. So what
Okay.
just happened? They just did the regrouping episode where everybody's kind of what's his name gets stabbed. The other the
other-
youngest son of the youngest Baratheon
the youngest Baratheon gets stabbed.
gets stabbed and dies, and they all join up
Okay,
with
Renly.
Like
With
you're talking
Renly.
about with a Brienne. Like Brienne was.
yes,
yes.
yeah.
Ah, season 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
wait,
there.
so somewhere from where you're at, I know this is turned into Game of Thrones, but
Sorry.
I don't care. This is like one of my
And
favorite
if you haven't
things.
seen it, it's been years.
Go watch
since
it.
the
It's-
season 1.
Here's the thing: I was gonna wait. I'm gonna watch them all before the next season.
So you're gonna wait the 2 years with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
what's great is I didn't realize it was 2 years. Because I just watched the last
That means you
episode
guys
3 days
get
ago.
to read the book.
Hell yeah.
But also, I'm hesitant to recommend the books at this point because not because they're bad, they're excellent books. It's because I don't think we're gonna get the books.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going
I
to
don't think it's
happen.
gonna happen.
However, once you go through the show and you're gonna need your fix and you're gonna need to see the structures of how all these storylines were really supposed to go because the books are definitely way better. Yeah, like it's just you're gonna need to fulfill the need.
The need.
Needs to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Wait. So who's your favorite right now?
My favorite character,
Yes.
Arya, for sure.
Okay, cool.
She's the fucking best.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. She kicks ass.
She's so cute in that first season. They had like
so little.
flashbacks.
Child.
Little
So
bugger.
little.
Like a
She
little
is
baby.
so
They're
little.
all so tiny. But,
So,
like, the show's
okay.
been on for like almost like 6-7 years now,
I
and
don't-
so like
I hope-
everyone's aged
Yeah.
up, and you're like, oh, and when you see pictures, you're like, oh my god, you guys were so itty bitty.
First off, John looks. I think John has grown into his. He's looked more of a man.
Yeah,
looks
he was.
badass.
So here's the thing. I mean, I know Kit, not personally, but I know like what he looks like, and I know him as an actor, and like, so I know him now.
Yeah.
And so watching him back then, I was like, oh,
They're all babies.
you're a little baby. He's got a little
Yeah.
chubby face, and he's like,
Yeah, he's like a little
he's like
baby.
a little child. It's really funny. But I didn't know anybody else. And then, okay, it was really interesting because I was analyzing it as I was watching. Ooh, are you okay?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
dying?
okay.
So I was analyzing it as I was watching it because that's all I can do ever. And Hannah's been watching it with me, and so she was like, "Do you think there's?" Because we had, I mean, literally, I avoided anything. So we were like, "Do we think we were gonna get dragons?" And because they're dragon eggs.
How do you not know that they were dragons?
So do you think you're gonna get dragons? Do you
But-
think you're gonna get some dragons?
But we did. Well, we got them in the first
Okay.
season.
Season 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so,
So,
but we
like-
didn't know if we were gonna get dragon when we were gonna. I mean, I kind of knew we would get dragons at some point because I
Yeah.
figured it would happen.
Yeah.
But we didn't know when they were gonna be introduced or what circumstance we were gonna get them in. But when we got the dragon eggs,
I'm just like, I'm like just absorbing. I'm like, you're so new.
when
so
what's her name? Targaryen. What Khaleesi? What's her real name?
Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah,
The
so-
Stormborn. First of her name. I don't know the rest of all. Her shit.
When she
Breaker of chains.
He might not be
know
there
that
yet.
yet.
Oh, yeah. Oops. She's
okay,
not the
I
breaker
don't-
of chains yet.
when she gets the dragon eggs, that's when we were like, that's when Hannah was like, do you think we're gonna get dragons? Do you think she's gonna have like what? And I was like, those dragon eggs are Chekhov's gun. Do you know what Chekhov's gun is?
Yes.
Okay, those dragon eggs were like the epitome of Chekhov's gun, where it's like, if you don't fucking give me dragons after you introduce me to dragon eggs that are stone, quote, that are stone.
And she just happens to keep in like hot
Yeah.
water all the time. She's
Yeah.
just constantly like, I like these things.
if you don't
They're
fucking give me
warm.
dragons, I'm gonna be pissed. And then we got dragons, and I was like, this is the greatest show. This is a
Little
great.
babies,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a great. It was.
My only like
It's everything I love about
I
story.
I
It's
wish
so
they would
good.
give him more of a budget. You think they give him a lot of money for the show, but I
10 million an
I
episode.
genuinely wish they had more
6 million in
budget
these
for the effects just in general because I wanted more dire wolves. You don't get as many.
No,
as much
especially
dire
the first
wolves.
season, they killed all of them. They killed all of
Well-
them except for like 2 or 3. I'm sure some of them
But
come back, but
I mean, it's
Yeah, they didn't kill all of them.
But
You're
it
right.
they-
is
yeah,
it
they didn't
is
kill all
book
of them, but they
accurate
killed
the
a
way
bunch of them.
they followed it through, but like
and got rid of a bunch of
but
them.
like those things are like they're supposed to be like huge. Like they're not like I mean, season 1 they're puppies.
look like
so
they're
they look
just-
like regular wolves,
Yeah.
but those are puppies.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like these gigantic, monstrous, like almost rideable wolf dogs. And
I kind of got that when Arya said in season 2, she said when she was describing to not Tyrion, Tywin Lannister, when he asks what do the people think of Jon Snow, and she says that he rides on the back of wolves, and I was like, that he rides on the back of a wolf,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, those are gonna get huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the show, unfortunately, like you see them every once in a while, but just not as often as I personally would love to see them,
Yeah.
and as often as like it's such a part of the Stark brand to
Yeah.
have these wolves with them like all the fucking time.
They
I'm
need
like,
that dragon money though,
They do, and that's the thing. It
and
goes-
White Walker money. I'm sure. I don't
definitely
know,
goes
but I
to-
assume.
It definitely goes to dragon money, and I mean it's fine. It's worth it.
Why don't the
I
Lannisters have their lions? The Starks have their wolves. Daenerys has her dragon.
Money.
Because you can't really train big cats. Like they're still big
But
cats.
okay, so it's interesting. I was reading about George Martin. And
Grim.
what'd you say?
Grim.
What do you?
George R.R. Martin.
Oh, okay.
Grim.
Grim. Have a little grim.
Have a look.
I was reading about him. And he basically he was sick of writing for TV and movies where budget was a limit, so he basically wrote something that would be unshootable. Like that was his whole goal, was to just write something that nobody would ever be able to
Oh,
make
it
into
makes sense,
anything.
yeah. Oops.
And then they tried to make it into a show where they just followed. They pitched him a show where they just followed the Starks or just followed the Lannisters or like just followed certain storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, you're not gonna
Yeah.
do it if you're not gonna do the whole thing. And then I guess finally HBO was like, we'll throw down $6 million an episode and actually do the damn
Damn.
thing. And they've gone from 6 to 10 million an episode in the past.
Oh yeah, they're
couple of
making
months.
bank.
Did you know
right
that
now.
or whatever,
George
I don't
R. R.
know.
Martin is a huge football fan?
No way.
He loves the He loves the Jets, I think, and he named
He needs
a.
to fucking write his books. That's what he needs to do.
and he named a character after a football player.
Oh my god.
His
that's
name is
so
1-1
funny.
because his number was 1-1.
Oh,
11.
1-1.
Yeah, because he
Oh.
had the jersey 11, and that was like his favorite player, so he called it 1-1.
That's actually dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wait till you get to 1-1.
So
Spenser.
nerds, you too can be sports fans. Don't let those nerds bring you down.
I
You don't like sports. They're a bunch of bullies. I understand. You don't let those nerd bullies tell you can't love sports, nerds. Okay, nerds can love sports too. Ding. That's when we'd have a thing.
Okay, but you're not gonna. We can't put that in.
No,
we won't have
We're
time.
not going to.
I used to be one of these people that would be very adamant about like let George take his time writing the books. It's fine. Like yeah,
But he's gonna die.
but it's not even that to the point. I'm more mad on like how like on a pure are you that lazy kind of thing. Like he's writing weird spin-off shows and like he's writing things that are not Game of Thrones and
What is he writing?
he's writing like side stories.
For where are they going?
Exactly.
Wait, but literally where are they going? Are they just
he's
short
putting
stories?
Them up. He puts a couple things on his live journal here and there, and it's just like, what do you do? Mind you, from books 4 to 5, that was literally a 10-year gap,
Oh my god.
and 4 and 5 are the same timeline. Like, there's people who've put the chapters together, so it actually goes in order. That was supposed to be one book, and he split it, which is why like 4 and 5 are not like the favorites of people because for. Okay, Matt, you know how the books are written, right? By like how
Each chapter is its own character.
each chapter is told by a different perspective. It's all one person perspective, but each chapter is a different character.
Got it. But they jump between like you might go see John twice.
Yeah,
It isn't
Yeah,
like
you
a
get-
new character every time.
No, it's
Got it,
like
okay.
like each book, like you get like maybe about let's say 6.
Is it told in
characters.
first person or is it told in third person but focusing on a person?
first person?
So I went to do this. I went to do that.
No, Arya. It's like Arya
Okay, so
went
it's
to go
third
here.
person, but it's limited.
To
It's
the perspective of
yeah,
that character.
third person, limited, whatever
Yeah.
that's called.
Yeah. So and you start, first book you start off with you have your Ned, you have your I don't think you get Sansa, you got your Arya, you get Jon, you get Tyrion.
Can I say this real quick? Sansa, it's fucking awful. She's the worst.
We had this conversation.
She's the worst.
We had this conversation earlier, me and Star. Oh.
Star is circling and
Yeah.
coming back.
For the listeners at home, Star is circling around in a mad fury and fit.
Okay, but here's the thing. You have
walls
to
are on
realize
fire.
I'm forgiving you just because you're.
I'm only on
season 1.
season 2.
I know.
Season 1, season 2. I'm gonna forgive you for that
Right now, yeah. Here's the only thing that I can say that's redeemable about what she's done is that she has been able to keep herself alive.
That's the point.
I know, but I'm saying like that's the only.
I
she
want to.
isn't- Yeah.
I want to
She's
rewatch
been-
this
yeah.
again.
I'm just saying. That's the point.
Right, but
That's it.
But everything we've seen of her so far has been like she's not trying to help her family.
Yeah.
Very much at all. So it's been.
I could. I'm not. I'm gonna hold it in because I want you to enjoy the show. I want you to just enjoy
When this
the thing.
podcast lasts for 2 more
But-
years and we have the Game of Thrones series finale, oh boy,
It's gonna be crazy.
Ugh.
it's gonna
I'm
be
just-
lit.
But you have to realize I'm coming from a completely different
Yeah.
place because I've only watched part of season 2.
Even. I'm still judging you a little bit.
I had the same opinion you did, and
Nah,
that's like we had
she's-
this conversation about it.
Yeah, no.
I'm still judging you a little bit because it's. But this is a thing that everyone does, and it's also part of the point of the characters, is that every particularly like with female characters and all that stuff, everyone likes to essentially you pick the characters that end up acting a little bit more masculine as the favorites. Tomboy girl characters tend to be more favorites than the girly girls because everyone thinks the girly girl characters are useless. It's not my point. This for my Sansa, even season 1, even though she is a brat.
She's the worst.
Season
She drives me insane.
Even my season 1 defense of Sansa is that just because she's not acting like Arya does not mean she's worse. It's literally she's literally a different person.
Right.
And it's nice that there's different.
But she's not a good person.
People. She's in the at least show. In the show, she's 13.
Yeah, but she's still.
She's a 13-year-old girl who Ned and Catelyn both spoiled so heavily.
Right. But that doesn't. But it doesn't matter how much she was spoiled. Doesn't matter any of that. She's still not very nice to her parents. She's not very nice. She's staying alive, and that's all she's doing. And given what all of the other characters are doing, it feels like all she's trying to do is survive, and she's not moving. She's not pushing things forward, and that's okay.
Spenser Starke, you know nothing. Have you gotten to that part?
Also, no, none of the other characters would survive in Sansa's spot. Just
that's what I'm saying. But
Which
for me, watching the situation, it's like I'm judging it based on who is. Yeah, she isn't doing it. She isn't doing anything to help, and so she's only keeping alive for herself, which is fine because. Honestly, I'd probably do the same thing if I was in her situation. But looking at all of the other characters, I'm like, they're all actively going after something, and she is not. She is just trying to survive.
She literally can't.
I mean, I don't know what that's what I said. I don't know what I would do, but that's how she's the worst. She's the worst.
Literally, like she can't.
I don't care if you can't. There's so many things Arya shouldn't be able to do. There's so many things that Catelyn shouldn't be able to do, and she does.
What is Arya doing at this point in season 2?
She is the.
Is she on the
she's
road?
She's the what is it? Cup maiden.
She's Tywin's.
Yeah, that's
cup
the
holder.
conversation they had about Jon.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
So anyway,
next
it's been
season?
20. It's been
Which I have
22
a
minutes of Game of
commentary
Thrones.
for
You should
Luis.
probably.
I'm looking at Luis like there's a moment later on in the season, later seasons where like there's a thing. There's. Anyway, I'm just okay.
You need to go in that spoiler slack.
I'm trying.
We
I'm
should
trying
have
to hold it in. But here's the thing. But I'm also coming from the perspective like Arya and Sansa are both my favorites. Like I can't pick between the two.
Well, Arya, or I mean,
And
Sansa
this was
probably will
from-
get better for me.
But here's the
where
thing,
I'm
this
at.
was me
with-
from
yeah.
essentially the beginning of it. Like, but mind you, like book wise and everything too. Like, you get Sansa's perspective also in the book, so you're in her head. So me watching the show, I know what's in her head. So, but I also know what's in Arya's head too. So knowing what's going on in both of their like state of mind, at least for me, that's what made me attach myself, obviously, to both of them. In the show, you can't really get what's going on and what they're thinking as they're both trying to survive their situations. So that's why, like, that at least for me, that's why, like, so for me, they're like the Stark girls are my girls. Like, I love them so much. So much. They're my favorites.
I love Sam too.
So I'm just a very Sam's great. Sam's.
I have a friend who hates
Sam's the
Sam.
best.
I don't get it. He's
Excuse?
I know. He's like, I fucking hate Sam.
Who
I'm like,
hates Sam?
how do you hate Sam? I don't know. I wish I could bring him on the podcast so you could talk about
Tarly's
it.
the shit.
Okay, we've been talking about Game of Thrones for 20 minutes. We should
Okay.
probably
Oh,
move
shit.
off Game of Thrones.
Fine,
But you know
fine,
what?
fine.
When the next season, when the final season comes out, we should have a
just
spin-off
do a
podcast.
Yeah, we'll just do a
spin-off
spin-off, like just a couple episodes
Yeah.
on here that are just
I
about
need
that.
Spencer. I super need you to read the books.
I don't know if I'll have time.
30. So on Audible, there are 33 hours for the first book, which I also learned Stephen King's It is longer than the Game of Thrones first book, which is insane.
It's crazy. I have it.
Huh.
I just haven't listened to it
Audible?
because it's so long.
It's 33 hours. Yeah, what is that?
It's really good.
I think in a month I could
I
get it
want
done.
to. I have so many other things I'm
Also,
listening to and
I
reading.
think Audible, the first versions of the audiobooks, because they updated them. I think they redid them after the show came out.
Oh, really?
'Cause
I'll have to get those.
The first versions, the pronunciations of the names are all different than what's on the show.
Oh
No way.
Like Brienne on the show, like for me,
Brianna.
my brain goes Brienne because that's how it
Brienne.
was
Oh, yeah, that's how
pronounced.
it's spelled. That's how it's
Brienne
spelled.
is how it was pronounced in the books for so long that like I'm like, oh, everyone's Brienne. I'm like, no, but she's Brienne. Like I don't know, like at least
Brain,
that's the
would
one
you
that's
like
It's like the
some grunch?
Hermione. When I was
Yeah.
reading it, I didn't pronounce it Hermione. I don't remember how I pronounced it, but I just remember
Hermione?
that was a
I pronounced it-
surprise.
Hermione?
I
for
was
me.
a Hermione for a while.
You were Hermione? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think I don't know what I don't remember what I was, but I just remember that wasn't how I pronounced it. Now
Yeah.
it's like ingrained in me. Okay, let me read a question so
I mean,
that
we
we.
could move on to Potter too if this is where this is going for
I know.
another
I
20
just started
minutes.
reading the first book.
Okay,
So
hold on. We have to talk about that. We have to talk about that. Okay.
I'm in the middle of it though because it's
middle of the
hard.
first book.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm at the part where this is all flipping. I'm at the part where they have the little Quidditch.
Oh yeah, the
He's in the middle of the
Okay.
Quidditch game, and like
Wait,
Snape,
in the Quidditch game?
yeah, and
Okay.
Snape's doing this
Do you
thing.
understand Quidditch?
I think I do. There's a
Okay.
lot of moving pieces, but I think I do. It's pretty simple. There's like that whole chapter is like, okay, let me just break it down to you.
Yeah.
What Quidditch is, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like this. No, it's like this. I'm at the part where Snape's doing his thing.
Right. Yeah.
And they think it's bad, and then I stopped reading because I had
Okay.
to go home. But yeah, no, it's
I also
it's
have
fucking
the
good.
I
It's
have the
fucking good.
audio books of that too. The British versions.
I just got it. The British version?
It's better. It's way better.
Oh, I just got it on Audible. But
That
it's
might be the British versions.
Okay, I hope so.
But double
Who's
check.
reading it?
I don't know. Let me find out. But it's really good. I thought I didn't like they slowly brought out
Wait, are they
Hermione.
saying, this is
Yeah,
how
she
you know. Are
isn't
they
in it a
saying-
bunch in the first.
Are
No.
you saying? Are they saying Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone?
I've been trying hard to get the Philosopher's Stone.
Like no, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
the audio version.
Let's see.
Are they? Which one are they
Sorcerer's
saying?
Stone.
Oh, then you have the American one.
Wait, who's reading
Are
it?
there British people talking? Narrated by Jim Dale.
Oh, you'll be fine. Jim's great.
He's fine, but it's not. I don't know. The British guy's better.
Jim's fine. That's what I grew up with. Was
You grew
Jim.
up with Jim?
Yeah.
Jimbo?
Yeah, I grew up with Jim.
I was hardcore and only listened to the British audio.
But yeah, no.
I had no idea when I was a
if you
kid,
have
so.
it, like send it to me. And
I'll send it to you.
But yeah, I thought Hermione really slow. Looks like a slow
yeah,
rise to her. I thought
uh-huh.
she was gonna come in because him and Ron hit it off really
Yeah.
well, and then Hermione,
They were bros. Like
yeah, like
this-
right away,
fast.
and Hermione just chips in like, like she
She's-
like putters in with her thing,
Yeah.
and then when the troll comes in, and then they kind of have like
They have
like
a-
little.
yeah.
You know,
A
they
join-
finally,
yeah, they
finally
join
join
forces.
together, join forces, and then time passes, and it's like okay, and so, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's really enjoyable to read. I think if you read it for the first time, without Harry Potter being in the world, the way that first off, I love that chapter, and I would love to make just that first chapter where it talks about the people that he stays with and the family.
Oh,
The Dursleys?
The Dursleys.
The Dursleys.
Those pieces of shit.
I know. I feel like when I read it, it felt like a older, like Tim Burton version
Yeah.
being made. You know, if I could just see that, that'd have been so cool. And then, but the way it develops the world, the way it builds off from this tiny like normal world, normalcy, and it slowly starts adding all
Devolves
these
into- yeah,
it
into
starts devolves
fantasy.
into fantasy things, and how you can like. First there's like weird cat, and then you start going into the like little place where everything's bought, and then you can go into a wall to go to the
Yeah.
train, and then you have this thing, and it just keeps
Growing and growing,
and
yeah.
it's like Jesus, when does it stop?
It's so cool.
And I, like halfway through, and you're like, we're still world building almost.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
I mean, once because you think the world because for me when I was reading it, and I remember because I like it had such an impact on me when I was reading it that it's still so fresh, and I just did a reread too, so that helped because it brought back everything. But like when we got to Diagon Alley, I was like, wow,
Yes.
look at all this world building, and then we got to Hogwarts, and I was like, fuck,
yeah.
what is happening?
It keeps going. It's like, okay, now you have to go. Like the train yard is in between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
7 3/4.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. That's probably wrong.
9 and
but-
3/4.
Nine and
Okay, there you go.
3/4.
But it's like, yeah, like that. Just that simple concept of an idea.
Yeah.
Like it keeps.
I
There's
can't-
so many small
I
details.
can't wait
Ugh.
for both of you guys to get so much further along in both of your prospective new fandoms.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. Like you're gonna like you're so excited now, and you haven't even
There's
haven't.
there's
No.
so
I
much
just got
cool
some
stuff that's
Quidditch,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
like you haven't gotten like the history shit. Like
Uh-uh.
oh
Yeah,
man,
there's
like
so
you've
much
got,
cool-
You've got so much to look forward to, and then you need to get further along. And also
I'm
give me
watching an
reactions.
episode. I'm watching an episode every night.
Yeah.
I want like
Every night, I've
one
devoted an hour.
commentary thing on Slack.
Every time I watch an episode,
I think.
I won't say anything. I just need the feedback. But you too. But like you're like it's different with the books.
yeah, the book, yeah.
The books, it's like I like
They
the
don't
show,
have
it's
as many
easier to have, like, the
cliffhangers
thing.
at
No,
the end
yeah.
of each one.
Yeah.
The chapters.
I guess I should
everything
give a
moves
note.
Everything moves pretty slow in that book, like relatively slow
it's-
at the beginning, and then
yeah.
it ramps up. Like,
But the way she
you got
writes
the troll.
the way she writes the characters' dialogue, and even like it's so quirky and funny, and they all sound very different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They
like, when
really
Ron
have
comes in,
true
I'm like,
voices.
So the voices of it are very different.
Did you know that she was basically? I just learned this. I knew that she kind of fell on hard times before she wrote Harry Potter. But did you know that she was like practically homeless?
She was on welfare.
She was on welfare, but
on,
she
like,
said
British
she was the
version of
poorest
welfare.
you could possibly be without being homeless, and she got married early, and then her and her husband got divorced like 2 months after they got married. They had a daughter, I think. Yeah, daughter.
If she had a son, she would have named him Harry.
Yeah, and so she had a daughter, and about 2 months into their marriage, they broke up, and so she basically had nothing, and she had this daughter she had to take care of, and she had written a couple, like during the divorce, she had started writing Harry Potter, and then she left and moved somewhere else. I don't know where she went, but she left where she was and moved somewhere else, and just basically wrote on napkins, and then she wrote the whole thing. Well, I don't know if she wrote the whole thing by hand, but she wrote a lot of it by hand, and then she rewrote it on a fucking typewriter.
What?
It was written on a typewriter.
That's
She didn't have a computer.
Yeah.
She didn't have money.
That's dope.
So cool. And then
I
she
can see
became
that. She,
one
like-
of the richest women in
yeah.
Europe, and one of the and I think the most successful author
Yeah.
in Europe. And that was
I
from
think for a
basically
good-
being homeless to
I
that.
think
It's
for a
amazing.
good
It's so
chunk,
cool.
She's outside of because technically the Queen of England is like the richest woman, just because she technically
Right. She isn't.
owns
She definitely isn't the richest woman, but she is one
outside
of
the
yeah.
royal family. She is the richest woman in the UK.
Yeah.
She's definitely like, as it writes, it just keeps going. Like it's like a train that just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna keep
And you
going
can
and
feel
going.
it.
You can feel like just the force keep going. Like we don't take time to stop.
Well, and it's
you
cool
know?
because once you get to the end, you'll kind of see the way that she clearly planned everything out.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me because it's either people are really, really good planners, or they do what I think most of them do, which is you write it and you get to the end and you go, ooh, here's all the things that I'm gonna hint at the beginning. You do a rewrite, write all those scenes. You do the general plant and payoff. But there's all these little things throughout all of the books that they plant, even from the very beginning to the very end, that she clearly was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and revise that based on new info I have from this thing that I wrote. You know, and you just get these small like plant and payoffs that are just fucking brilliant. And so you'll see you'll see what I mean, but it's so cool.
I can't wait. Oh man, you guys, it's so good. It's so good.
That's that style. The cast of the writers of Breaking Bad do. So like, when they were doing their season, like their last season split, like they split it their season.
The two,
they didn't know. They did a flash forward. And they didn't know how they were going to get there, but they know that that's where they wanted to be. And then they just like they wrote themselves in a corner, and then they made this
Had
awesome.
to find it out,
Because they like the whole concept was like they know they want to get like from a Mr. Rogers character all the way to like Scarface. Like we know we want to do that.
Right.
So that's but like just certain things and things that they were like hinting off for next season. That, like you said, they wrote them in a corner. They took the history of everything they wrote in the past seasons and applied it to the new season.
Yeah.
You know? So
it's so fucking cool. It's so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna pose a question. It's kind of a hard question. So we'll see if we can come up with anything. I think I might have something that sort of applies. But Daisy Rendell, one of our hey, if you're not on the Slack, go get on the Slack.
Yeah,
We got
Slack.
regulars on the Slack, like Daisy.
Like Daisy. We talked about Black Mirror once.
You and Daisy?
Yeah.
Black Mirror's amazing.
It is amazing.
I haven't watched Black Mirror.
What?
It's spooky. It's too spooky for me.
It's not spooky.
It's spooky. Like it's like spooky. Like it's heady and all the. It's in a creepy heady. I don't like.
It's okay. There's another person on Slack who didn't like it either.
I don't
We
like
had this
creepy heady
conversation.
stuff.
I really like it. Okay. She asked, "Are there any things that you remember about your childhood and only now realize what it means?"
You gotta give me more time. To think
I know.
about
That's why I
that.
said it's a hard one. So
I remember
yeah.
there was. I mean, I don't know if this counts, but I watched Honey, We Shrunk the Kids.
Okay.
And what happened? There's a scene where this kid, I think, brings another person back to life. They do the CPR.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, I think they do CPR. They save them or they kiss them, and they're like, "Oh, where did they learn that?" And this person's like, "Huh, French class."
Oh, and it's like a French kiss?
I don't get it. Yeah, but it's a French kiss. So when you rewatch it, you're like, oh. Okay.
A lot of them are saying, people commenting on it were saying, like Disney movies have a lot of jokes that you don't get until you're older.
That's the only one I can think of.
My first thought was, okay, in Beauty and the Beast, you know, there's a line where the Cogsworth goes, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
Oh my God. As a kid, you don't get it.
Overhead.
Oh, I didn't get that.
What? Ran overhead, and then I took like art history. I went to art history class in college, and we studied Baroque architecture, which is it's all in that movie.
I love Baroque, yeah.
And then like rewatching it, I was like, I get that. I get it. I get art history now. But honestly, that's the one thing that stuck now. Right. I don't remember any of the other art styles, but I remember Baroque
because of that.
Yeah.
That's funny. So this isn't something that I realized, but it's a story I was told about me as a kid. There was a commercial that came on for condoms, and I, as a small child, asked what condoms were. Yeah. And apparently, my mom and dad were both in the room, and my mom said, they're the things you put on your hot dog. Now, she meant condiments. She was trying to spin it into condiments.
Oh, my God. Okay.
But it didn't really go that direction.
Yeah.
So I thought, I didn't know. I was young. I was like, okay. But, like, my dad was dying, apparently, because, like...
Yeah.
She's like, condiments are what you put on your hot dog. But that's...
But did you ever try to put a condom on a hot dog?
Nope. Not once.
So I don't know if this is the same thing, but I was going through my family like picture album.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of me, probably like 5 years old, with a cast on my leg. And I was like, Mom, I broke my leg? No one told me this? And then like I've tried to ask my parents and my family about this all the time, and they don't want to talk about it.
Really?
And I try to ask my brother about it, and he's like, yeah, well, it didn't happen. But no one wants to tell me. Like,
what
I don't know.
Fuck?
I know. Is it like, are you just like embarrassed, or is there like some shady shit happening that no one's telling me about my broken leg? Like,
I feel like somebody beat the shit out of you and you don't remember because it was that
blocked
bad.
It out of my head. Yeah.
And it was blocked out. Like your brain was just like, there's no need for you to remember any of this.
I was shocked.
Or
to
you
know
got
that
hit
I had
by
a broken
car.
leg.
I'm imagining all the scenarios.
Oh, like he was trying to drive a car, accidentally ran me over. I don't know.
Because clearly it wasn't something you did, because you would have remembered it if it was something you did.
The story is that we were jumping on the bed, me and my brother, and we were like play fighting.
Your brother tried to kill you.
And then I fell off, and then I broke my leg.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, I feel like you would remember that. I feel like maybe someone tried to like off you, and then they were.
But
like,
I feel like I would remember that even more.
No, but like,
you know, like
I
usually remember when people try to kill me.
Like Luis is a little kid just running around doing his thing,
being loud and annoying.
And then like your brother just came at you with like a bat and hit your leg from behind, and you were knocked out.
I can totally see that because I was super loud. Well, I was loud and obnoxious and like always ask questions and annoying. So I can easily see.
Like I feel like it was like a day.
I think it was your mom.
Yeah.
I think you're.
No, that was,
she would never do that.
Wait. It would be. How spoiled were you?
I was the baby of the family. I was pretty spoiled.
Oh, then maybe it was your mom.
No. It must have been my brother. I know my mom.
I have a feeling it was your brother, especially if your brother won't tell you.
Oh my gosh. Imagine you have a little baby on, you're like changing the diaper and you just go, ah! And you just break the leg. You got to go on YouTube to see what I just did.
Maybe don't.
It's
very graphic.
Is that the same thing? Is it the same thing where people like have that weird instinct of like if you see something really cute, you want to like squish it?
Oh, you want to
eat
squish it.
And
eat it.
And then you just like you hate that feeling because you're like that would kill it. That would be like the worst.
Yeah, I just want to squish it. Yeah.
I have my cat, one of them, Chewy. I squeeze him until he goes. And it's so funny, but he lets me go for a good while.
Because he likes the hug.
He likes the hugs, but he's like,
just a little too much love.
I used to have a pet hamster that I'm like, you're so cute, and I was just like, and I would be too nervous to hold it after a while because I would have the instinct of I want to squish it.
Those things feel like clouds.
Because they're so cute. They're so
just
cute.
Squish it
and
I'm
just
disappears
like,
in your fingers.
No, like if I hold on to you, because they're also wiggling around in your hand. If you hold on to it too tight, sometimes their eyes kind of like
bug out a little bit.
And I'm like,
totally.
no, and I would put it back in the cage because I would be so afraid that I would be that person to be like, you're so cute and squish it, and I'm like, But it was cute.
The other thing for me is like just realizing the way that the world, like it not now, but probably when I was like 19 or 20, realizing the way the world worked. And like that, it wasn't the way that I thought the world. Just previously, it wasn't the way I thought the world.
Shit. It's not
yeah,
fun.
it happens sometimes. But like, I mean, like the when you're a kid and you're in a store and you're like, I want that toy. Why can't I have that toy? And your parents are like, you can't have that toy, and you think it's just them being mean or them just not wanting to buy you something. But it's like, no. When I was young, we did not have a ton of. I mean, we were not like super poor, but we didn't have a ton of money. And we didn't have money to just go and buy, whatever you wanted. And so it's just interesting to know, like, oh, like as I I don't know. I honestly don't know the circumstances back then because I don't remember. But like me looking at it now, if I were to have a kid, because my parents had me around the age that I am now, like if I had a kid now, I wouldn't have the money to be able to buy all the, like, it would be such a financial burden. I mean, I think it's also a different world, right? Like we live in a very different economic world than they did, but still, I mean, it was still hard. And like, just looking at the way that they had to do things and the way that I acted as a kid or that I remember acting, and like not understanding that money had value in the way that I understand it has value now, was just fascinating. Because when I was like, 12 or 13, it's like, I thought I knew the idea of money having value because I had to earn money to, I mow the lawn for money and whatever. But like now I really understand what it means. Yeah. And it's like, now I get it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just the way the world works.
So you're saying you had the experiences of maybe believing in a certain worldview and thinking things that are away, and then getting severely disappointed when bad shit might happen to you, say like, losing your dad or something like that. Maybe that's like a sympathetic thing. Maybe you thought the world was one way.
Is this a reference to Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, maybe you thought the world was one way. You were taught, and everyone around you, literally everyone around you except your little sister who you fought with, told you that things are a certain way. And then it all goes to shit. And a little partially on your part, too, because you were told things.
What did I do? I didn't do anything. You're putting the blame on me. I didn't do anything.
This is me talking about Sansa.
Oh, okay.
We would change.
But also, like, your dad was just as naive, literally just as naive. Some would say that maybe Sansa's very Ned-like in that way.
Naive?
A little naive.
Who?
Like, there's a lot of people, Sansa and Ned are very similar in their naivety and believing that the world would work a certain way.
Yeah, totally.
And should follow certain rules and things like that. Also why I'm very defensive of Sansa, because she is very Ned-like in that way.
Yeah.
And Ned's cool.
Okay, how do you take, TK wants to know, how do you take compliments?
Oh, that's actually a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Depending on what the compliment is.
So you probably experience this more than we do.
If it's on my appearance, I generally just say it's a quick thank you, and like, because it's better than being like no, because I'm like, I also know what I look like.
Right.
I'm vain, like I'm not ugly. So if someone says, "Oh, you're pretty," it's like, "Oh, thank you," and I like kind of move on. I don't like try to dismiss.
That seems like the best way to do it.
Yeah, but when it's like work and stuff, that's harder.
Yeah,
I know it's not the best, but when people go, it's really good, I'm just kind of like, and I try to do the same thing of like, thank you, but sometimes I'll add, I'm like, oh, but I'm still working on it, I want it to be better, like I try to add onto it without dismissing the compliment outright, because this was from like a Harmontown podcast forever ago, because Dan Harmon was talking about how he always had a hard time accepting any compliments or anything like that. Someone told him that when you tell somebody, if you dismiss somebody's compliment and you tell them that they're wrong, you're telling that person that they have bad taste. And that in itself is rude. Because the whole point of you trying to be modest is you're trying to be polite. You're trying to like.
And so you're undermining that by not.
So as soon as that clicked in my head of like, oh, as soon as you tell somebody they're wrong, you're telling that person they have bad taste and that they're bad. And it's just made me go, oh, never again. Well, like if someone says something nice to me about that stuff, I always try to go, like, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then if I need to add on, like, I'm still working on being better, or I'm still trying to like do more, just because I don't want to give someone the feeling of telling someone that they have bad taste.
Yeah. I just don't know what to say, like, to do after you say, "Oh, thank you."
Oh yeah,
and
there's always that awkward moment where you're like,
awkward, like, still moment, like, okay, well, all right, well, goodbye.
I usually try. I used to be really awkward at it, especially with work. Because I don't know, it's different when it's like a compliment about you as a person. Because that's almost harder, I feel like, for me to be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like me the way I don't know, what the fuck, whatever.
That's why it's easier to compliment people, like what they're wearing, a haircut, things like that, because there's an active decision-making process in that.
Right, as opposed to what
where
you...
Where it's like, I like that shirt you're wearing because you picked out that shirt. Or even if somebody else picked out that shirt, like, at least, like, it's like, that thing looks good on you. Good combination.
Right.
You know?
I try and spit... Well, I found myself, I don't do it consciously, but I think subconsciously... When somebody says they like something, I ask them what part they like. Like what specifically do you like about it? And then from there I say, what do you think, what did you not get, or what do you, because I find too that there's a lot of people, especially in this industry, and you know, we're all kind of guilty of it, but like a lot of people who go, oh, that's really good, and then move on, and you never get. There's some people who just are too hard, like who are really mean and not nice, and like there's plenty of those too. But I found with people that, especially people that I'm close with, that like I'll have something that I've made, and then like I'll present it, like even to my dad, like I'll send him something, and you know, and he'll and just for an example, it happens with everybody, so I'm not singling him out, but it's just like in general, like he would go, oh, it's really good, I really like it, and I go, cool, what did you think about this part? Or did you get what was a part? Were there any parts that you were confused on, or what specifically did you like? And that changes it into me being able to gather information, so that the next time I do it or the next draft I do, I can change things that didn't work, and I can keep those things that they really liked and use them for the you know, for the next time that I do whatever in that style. So that's the way I kind of have to turn it, so that it doesn't turn awkward for me. It becomes work.
I do appreciate when people are more specific about compliments.
What they do like specifically, especially work related.
Because the more general you are, the more like I'll tend to dismiss, like, oh, okay.
I think if somebody says, yeah, it's great, and I go, what do you like about it? They go, oh, well, it seems like it's really well done. I'm like, okay, you don't really like it, or you don't know what you like about it. Maybe they do like it, but like, I don't know, I dismiss those easier than, or like, not dismiss it, but like, it feels less...
it doesn't reach you.
Yeah, if somebody's like, I really like what you did there with this part,
right,
that tends to be like, oh, yeah, that. So my thinking with that was this.
Yeah.
You know, or did you, or sometimes I won't tell them, go, what did you, like, I did an interview for Roots. With Mark, oh God, I'm drawing blank on his name.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I have it. Mark, I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Mark. Would you like to come out for some grunch? We haven't said that in a while. I got to bring it back.
You got to bring it back. Anyway, I did an interview with him on Roots, and he asked about the body horror thing, and about like Roots being body horror, and it was interesting because I didn't even think about it being body horror.
Of course, it's body horror.
Right, but that didn't. But the bigger story is not really revolved around that body horror. Like the fact that she has roots growing out of her feet and like this thing growing out of her the back. That's not the focus of the series. It just happens to be a thing that gets us from one place to another.
Yeah.
But it's not the focus of the series. The focus of the series is her relationship with all of the people around her, and like what, and then her also.
It's your at least visual hook in the beginning.
Right. Exactly. It is. I mean, Mark Dixon. Sorry, Mark. I didn't remember your last name.
It's literally the cover.
It's literally the cover with roots growing out of her feet and her being rooted in the ground. But it was interesting because I never thought about it as horror, and I never thought about it specifically as body horror. And so his perspective on that gave me a new perspective on it where I was like, oh shit, this kind of feels, because the whole series is not really, it is kind of horror. It's horror in the way that Game of Thrones is horror, right? Yeah. Like there is a looming threat. And it was interesting because there are so many similarities between Game of Thrones and Roots that I had no idea existed. But there's these creatures. Well, no, not even that. Like weird things like there are these creatures that exist that are on the other side of this wall. That the wall is what used to keep them separated. And so, but those creatures have now passed over that wall and have breached that. So it's like, but that is a very basic concept of like, and inside the wall is like the good and outside the wall is the bad. And that's kind of the whole setup of Roots, is that there is this divider between them. It used to be a wall. Now it's a river because the river burns. And so anyway, it separates them. But it was just interesting because it gave me this whole new perspective on the way that I'm approaching the story. And so it was fascinating to kind of get that feedback. It wasn't, I mean, it was definitely complimentary, but it was more like he was asking questions about what the property was and making me think about it in a way that I hadn't really thought about it before. That's because great. I was focused on the whole big picture, right? Like how this thing plays out, and just focusing on that one issue is like, oh wow, there are pieces of this that I didn't even analyze.
That's why those people are great. Those critics, they can like really summarize something that you don't even know what it is. Hey, so this is like a this and this, like, oh yeah.
And I've been working on the story for so long that it's like
the artist thing where you're like, I totally meant that from the beginning.
Right.
That was my intent.
I try not to do that. But sometimes it comes. I mean, but the thing is like the story of Roots itself has taken on kind of a life of its own in the sense that like the world has almost started to build itself. Like if I told you that I've created like a whole new physics system, like thrown out atoms and molecules and create a whole system from the ground up of how...
I feel like you told me this,
I think we talked about briefly at SourceFed.
Like when you first were like, I have this idea, and then you started going and I'm like, oh, this is a lot to process. And I kind of like zoned out toward the end because I was like, I can't. Like, it was a lot of stuff. It was a lot.
There's a whole world that's being... But the world itself kind of presented itself to me and Christina, my writing partner on it when we were developing it, and so when I find new things that I didn't think about in the beginning, I kind of just embrace it as like we found so many things during the development process that I had no idea were gonna make themselves known and we're gonna work. That like every time something like that happens, I just kind of have to accept that it's just the world itself, the world building itself, as opposed to me actively like I'm trying to catch the train as it's riding by. I'm not making the train. Totally. You know what I mean? But anyway, his website is Panel Patter. If you want to go check it out, Panel Patter. PANELPATTER. If you want to go check it out,
beautiful.
He does lots of reviews, and they have a team of people, and they're Eisner nominated, and they're fantastic. So go check that out.
Great.
So when someone gives you a compliment, what immediately happens right afterward?
Afterwards,
hesitation.
Like that instinctual, like
I say, "Oh, thank you," and then there's a hesitation of like, "How do I spin this?"
I try to compliment them.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I do like, thanks, man. Well, it's okay. But, you did a really good job with this thing.
That's a really good technique, too. Yeah.
But then I feel like...
But then you're putting it back on them.
Yeah, but I also feel like I kind of like, made their compliment sound like shit, because I kind of like dismissed it.
Right.
And I kind of see them do like...
As long as you say thank you. As long as you say the thank you.
I got to keep a solid, thank you.
Like it has to be, you can't hesitate on the thanks.
Yeah.
And you can't deny or reverse any of the compliment. You can't just be like, at least I'm trying to think of like appearance-wise, it's harder to do. Like with work stuff, it's like, the instinct is there to be like, oh no, it's not that great. Like don't put down the thing that they just complimented you for.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's important.
I always want to know whether it's true though. That's like my biggest, like I'll ask questions about things too to make sure that they actually read it or they actually
Sherlock
did it. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, what specific, like that's
what really did you like about it?
Well, no. I mean, it's more, it came out of me sending things to people or having people and them saying they liked it, but then not knowing anything about it. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think they read that. And so part of me asking what specifically they liked is me analyzing it and trying to figure out what it is.
Passive aggressiveness.
But also, well, no. I mean, it's partly, it's honestly, it was mostly me wanting to know what worked and what didn't. But out of that came this. Sometimes people were like, well, I'm about halfway through it. And you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, so you didn't really, yeah.
And that's fine. It's fine. I just, if you haven't read it, I don't want to. I love the look to the camera. Yeah. You missed that if you're listening to it. But
yeah, there's a lot more looks at the camera.
Yeah. We're doing it office style. But it's fine, and I get like people are super busy, and I don't want to ever burden somebody with the things that I'm doing. If I want to know specifics about what it is, because for me, the reason why I want people to read it is so that I know what works, because I'm still learning as a writer and as a creator, and it's like I want to know what works and what doesn't.
You just got to give things to people, and then just don't expect them to ever read or look at it.
But see, I need somebody. Yeah, but
that's what I've been doing with Ruby.
Feedback.
I've been giving friends Ruby, and then when I've been getting feedback, I'm like, oh, you actually read it.
Yeah.
Like,
I need to get a signed copy of Ruby.
You do.
You got the first one.
The messed up one?
No.
The first one.
Was it messed up? Oh, I guess the marker didn't work.
You told me not to take it.
Yeah, we were going to do a new one.
You said you wanted to give me a new...
Hold on.
I also have to...
yeah.
I might have to head out. So.
Okay. We'll wrap it up.
I'm trying to see a show.
Oh, okay. Really quick, if you want to go get Ruby or you want to go get Roots or Planetborn, which is the card game that I'm working on that I'm really excited about.
We should put that here next time.
Oh, yeah, we should. I'll bring one in.
Yeah.
If you want to pick up any of those, I'm doing something called Dimensions that I've talked about that's really exciting. I'm releasing issue 2. I gave you issue 2.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to hear what you think.
We can dive into it.
We can dive in because there haven't been very.
We'll get tomorrow.
No, we'll get tomorrow. There are not very many people who have read it, so I'm excited. Oh no, your microphone's falling. I think that's a sign. But if you want to go get those, you can go to embryostudios.com. And you can pick those up, and that really helps us because we have a bunch of these that we've already ordered, and we want them to go to people that want to read and play and look at things.
Did you say RubyWhipple.com?
RubyWhipple.com is live. So if you want to go read the webcomic, the first issue is up on there. If you want a hard copy of it, it's only $3 on the website.
That's only $3. Stop getting Starbucks and get a goddamn Ruby Whipple.
and if you listen to here, thank you so much. We will be at Long Beach Comic-Con actually tomorrow when this goes up. It'll be Friday when this goes up.
Yeah.
So we will be at Long Beach Comic-Con on Saturday and Sunday, or the two of us will. Are you going to stop by?
I don't know if I can.
He's gonna but we're going to be
Louis
there.
is like, I have a life and things to do. Sorry.
I wanted to. I just can't.
C18 is our table number in Artist Alley. So come by and visit us. We're having a free raffle, so you have the chance to, or a free drawing, so you have the chance to win something for free. You can pick up signed copies of all the stuff that we've done.
Sam and DJ are going to be there?
Sam and DJ will be there on Sunday. So if you want to see them, come by on Sunday.
If you want to see the Flash.
Come by on Sunday. That's kind of my plugs for right now. But we're really excited, and things are much cheaper, or not much cheaper, but they're pretty cheap already, but they're even cheaper at the con. Ruby's only $1, and Planetborn's only $12. So
how Spenser get his money back that he's invested?
Yeah, because I'm investing a lot of money into this shit. And then Dimensions normally $3 each. You can get the issue 1 and 2 for only $5. So really exciting. I know you have to head out.
I do. I got a show to see.
Goodbye. What show are you going to see?
Guess.
Logan Lucky?
No.
Hamilton?
It's the Groundlings alumni, student, and something else show. It's like they bring their alumni, they bring their students, and then they bring their another company together.
Cool.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
They have a guest, so it's like a little, little show.
And then, you should go because I don't want you to be late. I was just going to talk about Hamilton for 10 seconds, but Star and I can finish it out.
Yeah, you guys, you want to finish it out?
Yeah. Well, are you going to take that? You need to take the video.
Oh, I got to take the video.
Okay, we'll talk about Hamilton next time.
Yeah.
It's not important. It's not happening
not
yet.
Important. Like we'll have a fandom thing.
Because we're going to see it. Basically, Star and I and
what are you saying?
September 10th with Kenny.
With Kenny from SourceFed.
Yeah. Also, think of. I need a new fandom, you guys. Like he got Game of Thrones. He's into Potter.
Oh yeah.
You need a new fandom.
Help me.
I'm
already part of a lot, so there might not be any good ones left.
I'm
sure
get
there
some.
are good
There's going to
ones.
be some. Slack it,
You
tweet
haven't-
it.
I
You
need
haven't
the
read-
next Potter. I need the next Game of Thrones.
I need the color of magic. I think it's called.
Is that going to be big, or is that going to be like this tiny little?
I really liked it.
I need.
I
need
can try to
an
remember what
epic.
it's called. Anyway, I'll find it for you. I'll send you the video.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Goodbye
everyone.
forever.
Bye bye.
And we're out, baby.
And we're out.